This week on The Modified World, I'm answering viewer questions, so stick around. Welcome to The Modified World. It's the weekly web show about body modification, the people who do it, the people who get it, and why it matters. I am your host. I am the senior piercer at the world-renowned Pangea Piercing, beautiful sunny downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan, purveyor of internet wackiness. That's right, I'm JC Potts, and last week I asked a bunch of my viewers to ask me questions, stuff that isn't necessarily piercing related, because that's all I ever get. And you guys came through. I appreciate it. So, this week I'm going to be answering y'all's questions. One of the most popular questions I got was about my beard. You know, why do I do it? Why, how long does it take? What sort of struggle is it? How long I've been growing it? All that stuff. It's pretty easy. I started doing it just to, I don't know, kind of be wacky. The first thing I ever did to myself was start dyeing my hair when I was 12 years old. And as things go on, you can keep dyeing more and more hair. You know, it's fun. And the thing is if you have artificially colored head hair and a naturally colored beard, you look kind of silly. So I do the beard. It is a pain in the ass. I do it about every 3 weeks. I mix up some really, really strong bleach. It's like getting tear gassed. Not exactly fun, but hey, the things we do for beauty, right? Been growing it for, I don't know, about 3-4 years. I started growing it back as soon as we started the web series. If you go to some of my earlier videos, you can see somewhere that's actually pretty short. But I'd already had it grown out by the time we started filming. Why do I do it still? To be honest with you, I wouldn't even mind shaving it off. I'm a bit over it. That said though, I keep it because half the people out there actually watch the show on their mobile devices, and I show up pretty good on small screens. And I don't look like anybody else on YouTube. So, there's that. Another popular question I got is, if I wasn't a piercer, what would I do? Well, to be honest with you, I'd probably go into filmmaking. I actually enjoy being on camera. Since I was a little kid, I would periodically turn to the side and look at the camera that wasn't there and make like some sort of cheeky statement, observation, or look. Now, there actually is a camera there, and it makes it feel so much better psychologically. I don't know, I've always been interested in movie making, man. And I guess in a perfect world, I wouldn't have tattooed and pierced myself all up, made myself look too typecastable and stuff. I had a little bit more of a versatile look to where I could play more different roles. I think if I was going to acting right now, I'd just get typecast as the bad guy or the drug addict. And to be honest with you, neither one of those is all that bad as far as being typecast go. Either that, or I'd be an architect. Why? Because I love buildings. One of the other things that people were kept asking about is, what am I going to do with my dad's foot? For those of y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, a few months ago, my dad got his foot amputated and let me have it. I went down and picked it up. It's kind of cool. So I haven't done anything with it yet. It's sitting in a freezer, not at my house. I will be getting it done though. The plan is I'm going to desiccate it in natron salts and then jewel it with wire and jewels and all this, and then I'm going to build a box shaped like a foot for it out of silver, and then gemstones on that, and we'll go and exhibit it somewhere. But that's the plan right now. Proxy asks, why is your piercing, my lip piercing, so far to the side? Why? Yeah, just different placement. I don't do this placement on anybody. If somebody was to ask me to do this, I wouldn't do it. Why? Just because I don't want anybody else to have my exact same lip piercing. I know it exists, I know other people have it, but it's rare and I don't see it. You see over in the kind of side to the, like here, a lot, but I never see them all the way over here to the corner. So, it's a way for me to do a little bit more self-expression. Had probably half a dozen people ask me about my sweet fingernails. What my favorite color is, do I do them myself or go to a shop? Why do I do it? Well, why do I do it? I can tell you that. It's because when I was a little kid, I bit my fingernails. And when I stopped at about maybe 10 or so, my parents praised me a lot about not biting my fingernails. So somehow in my little doggy brain, I got long nails associated with like love and acceptance. So I started growing them long at that point. And then, you know, now I work on cars and make jewelry and do so much stuff that they get beat up and ugly, stained with various chemicals and stuff. So I have to kind of keep them painted so they don't look so gross. You know, nobody wants to get a piercing from somebody with gross looking nails, and it's hard to tell the difference between, you know, like polishing stains and dirt. So needless to say, I keep them painted. My favorite colors to paint them are dark colors, usually something with a cool tone to them, something a little manly, maybe with a military or industrial feel to it. I kind of like that type of stuff. Do I do them myself? Well, hell yeah, I do them myself. Of course I do. Sometimes I will go and get them done, but that's only when you want to be like luxurious. But no, I'm good with my hands, so I just do it myself. Bree117 asks, do I have any pets? Also, where have I traveled to? Well, I did have a pet. I had a pit bull for 15 years, man. Her name was Sindel. She was the coolest dog ever. Pure white, 2 different color eyes. And, you know, she had cancer for a couple of years, and she finally had to put her down. It was the saddest thing ever, and I haven't really had much of a wherewithal to actually be a pet owner since then, you know. Just too soon, too much. You know, I love animals, and it's, you know, I get too emotionally involved with them and stuff. So at this point in my life right now, I'm not ready to have another pet. As far as where I've traveled to, man, I've never left the country. I've been able to smell Mexico and see Canada, but I've never actually gone to either one of them, you know, partially because I don't have a passport. I've been to, you know, Chicago, West Coast, East Coast, you know, around the Great Lakes region, part of the mid-south, but I haven't done much in the deep south except for Atlanta. I would love to travel internationally though, man. There's a whole bunch of badass stuff out there. I'd like to go see Russia and Rome and, you know, Prague and Berlin and Milan, and I can think of all kinds of cool places, man. I'd go to the Middle East, I'd go to Asia, I'd go just about anywhere just to check it out, but I haven't gotten to. Good question though. Aubrey Wyan asks, since I've always dressed so sharply, do I have any advice for male fashion? And I do. Do what you want to do, man. Seriously, at the end of the day, man, if you want to wear, you know, sweats and a t-shirt, then rock sweats and a t-shirt. You want to wear a suit all the time? Wear a suit all the time. You want to go somewhere in between, man, do that stuff. My main thing is don't allow anybody to put you in a box, man. Just because you enjoy riding motorcycles doesn't mean that you have to wear a blue jeans and a black leather vest with a bunch of stupid patches on it and stuff. Just because you're, you know, into riding horses don't mean you gotta wear Wranglers and brush poppers and, you know, old cowboy boots and stuff like that, man. You can do whatever it is you want. Just like how I'm not really held into doing any particular thing, even though I do wear frequently the piercer uniform of jeans and some sort of piercing related t-shirt. I do that, but I also wear suits. And why? Well, because suits are lingerie for men. Remember that. Shane Holtzhausen asks, well, I'm probably Holtzhausen? Yeah, Shane Holtzhausen asks, JC, what do you do for fun outside of Pangea? Are you kidding me? You think I have a life outside of Pangea? Hell, you guys see it all, man. I really don't do much anything. I'll go see maybe 2 or 3 shows a year. You know, I go do guest spots periodically. I don't know, wrench on cars. That's really about it, man. I don't really do much other than work, like, all the time, you know? That's one of the things you'll find about people who actually get a lot of things done, or they generally don't do a lot of stuff to just off and waste time. But yeah, no, I guess if I was gonna do something fun, I'd go look at buildings, go to museums. It's always my favorite thing, you know, but that's really about it. You know, I'll go to a museum a couple times a year, go see a couple shows, hang out with my girlfriend. That's about it. And that brings me to another question that a lot of people have been asking. Whether or not I'm, you know, are you single? Are you looking? You know, what's up with you and your girlfriend? I do have a girlfriend, been with her for a couple of years. seems pretty chill. She's pretty cool. And so, no, I'm not looking, and I probably wouldn't be even if I was single, because honestly, I've been through enough up relationships in my life that I'm certainly not looking for one. Can't help it, sorry. Another good question that somebody asked, I got it here on my phone, is a subatomic flame. Asks, JC, knowing your love for cars, if money was no object, what would be your ultimate car and where would you drive it? Well, where I drive it? Well, hell, honestly, any appropriate surface. Racetracks, drag strips, back roads are one of my favorites. But yeah, to be honest with you, man, money really isn't that much of an object, at least as far as all this goes. I pretty much already have what I love. I love E30 BMWs, man, and I'm lucky that I got 2 of them that run. Yeah. But, you know, hey, in all reality, there's a lot of cars I would like. I would be a total Jay Leno type. I'd have 500 of them because there's really not one that will do it all. You got to have something for off-road. You got to have something for high speed. You got to have something for around town. You got to have something that's comfortable and luxurious you can pick people up from the airport with. So, you know, I got a lot of them that I love. Ferrari 360, you know, the 308s and 328 Ferraris are sweet. I'd love to have an old Lamborghini Countach, one from the 80s. 84 911 Turbo with the whale tail and the wide body. One of the old Broncos, preferably one of the, like the Icon Resto mods. Good Lord, man, I could keep on going. Bugatti Atlante Type 37, like what Calvin Klein has. That thing's only like $20 million, and there's only like 2 of them. That, and I could coach build some stuff too, man, because I've got things in my head that ain't never been built before, and knowing my love of metalwork and engineering, I'll probably do that at some point. Samantha Kratzer asks, what was high school like for me? Well, honestly, about like how it is now. I was the perpetual, perennial rebel. Didn't really fit in with any one group, just like how I don't now. And I kind of floated with everything. I was kind of friends with everybody, but not really close with anybody, which is kind of like how I am now. I never have really built really strong, tight interpersonal relationships with people because honestly, most people drive me insane. It's part of why I just broadcast and sometimes listen to people a little bit, but nah, I don't really make close friends very much. But it's very much just like how it is now. That's the thing I always say about conferences. It feels just like high school. It's very cliquish. You know, everybody's got their own agendas and stuff, and most of the time they don't actually coincide with what I'm doing. But I'm here and I hang out and I generally get along with people, you know. I don't know. I know when I went to my 20-year class reunion, I was the hot topic of conversation. God knows, everybody wanted to know what happened to JC, you know. Well, actually, most of them already knew what happened to me. I was more curious about what had happened to them. And true to form, you know, it's fairly predictable. A lot of baldness, a lot of fatness, a lot of sadness. So, yeah, luckily, I escaped. 40 years old, still see my abs. Did things good. I'm a happy guy. And really, that is about all I got time for today. There was a lot of good questions that I didn't have a chance to get to. But don't worry, we're going to be doing this again in the future at some point. I don't want to be a lazy YouTuber and just, you know, do a whole bunch of Q&A videos every month and stuff. But I will be starting to do this more and more frequently. Now, of course, too, with the number of questions that we got, there's no way I could send a swag pack to all you guys. But hey, if you send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, if I actually answered one of your questions on here and stuff like that, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and I will send you swag, just to be nice. Of course, we do this every week, you know. I gotta do the YouTuber thing, ask for likes and subscriptions, so hey, go ahead, like it, and if you haven't subscribed yet, yeah, do that too. And of course, stop back by next week. Got more exciting stuff for you coming up on The Modified World.